Alrighty guys, so how's she going today? So as you see, it's dark out. It's about 7:30 at night already. I'm out a little bit late making this video, and who knows when you guys will see this video. But my brain hurts. My brain hurts a lot. That cat just scared the absolute shit right out of me. You scared me. I thought you were a skunk coming after me. This is why. Don't come on at night. You gotta put more lights on your property then. That was funny. But I'm sure to figure out the cat because the light was coming at me, but it's hard to see when it's so dark out. So yeah, it's dark here in the shop. Let me get some lights going here. Lights, come on, give me some lights. Working right. So you clean the shop floor. Push the tiller over, whatever. There's the cat that scared the shit out of me. So, why does my brain hurt? Well, many reasons why my brain fucking hurts. First loud truck. Alright. My brain hurts because, one, I'm frustrated. So when I'm frustrated, my brain will hurt. 2, I have been figuring out the CB shit. 3, I've been doing a lot of studying and reading, and I'll explain what that is too. First of all, I will just tell you guys why I'm frustrated. Well, why I'm frustrated is because my tractor's still at the shop. And why it's at the shop is because, well, they're waiting. Fucking cat just likes to get into everything. The reason why it's still at the shop is because they're still waiting on the damn rim. And I'm getting a little bit pissed off because now they said that it possibly could be there probably even into the middle of next week, probably, or this week when you guys see this video. Well, it'll be dated to when I made this video, but you know, it'll be by whatever week it goes for you guys. So they're still waiting on the rim. They did everything else. They put all new, you know, filters and oils and just, you know, those things that I wanted done to it. So they did all that, and they said they're done basically. They're just waiting on the rim. Well, what I'm frustrated about is that I'm going to test my work lights here again. I just want to see if they still work, and if they do. I don't know how it can take a week and a half or however freaking long it's been for them to order a rim. So I don't know if they're maybe if they're partly lying to me and they forgot to order it, you know, and that's why it's taking a little bit longer. I don't care where the hell you order a goddamn rim from here in the goddamn United States. I think you'd get it within a week and a half. You're telling me it's going to be almost possibly even 2.5 weeks before I get my damn tractor back? That kind of pees me off. You know, I'm not like totally pissed off. It's just I'm a little bit frustrated because that should not take that long. So I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if they just ordered the slowest shipping possible, which I don't think you can order it any goddamn slower than that, you know. So I don't know. But it ain't gonna really matter anyway because I'm not gonna be able to use the tractor for much anyway. So yeah. And then when I get the tractor back, then I got to go over to this guy over here, and he's got to take the calcium out of the other tire. And I called him today too, or my mom called. I think it was my mom that actually called, and she said that, or he said that it would only cost really about $40 to remove it, the calcium from the other tube or whatever. So, but we'll see. I don't know if they know that's in the tube or not. I didn't tell them that part, so I mean, maybe they know. I don't know. I don't fucking know at all. So, yeah. I'm just a little bit frustrated at that because that damn thing should have been home a while back. I know that Double O Strike gave me a link to some stuff to stop the diesel fuel from gelling up. Well, that does, what he showed me does 250 gallons. I don't have a 250 gallon tank, so that's something else I should have looked into, is how big those tanks are. But I think they're, because on my tractor, they, standard with this tractor, they have the 2 tanks on them. And one on the top, which is always there, even on the smaller tractors, and then there's another one underneath the cab. So I think with both of those tanks, I think that's supposed to give you 75 gallons. I don't remember. I don't really remember now, but I think I need about, I don't know how many ounces I'll need of that shit to do 75 gallons. I guess I would have to do the math, but I hate doing math. I'm not good with numbers. I'm not very good at reading either, but I do it, so. But I have ordered some things for the tractor. One is I ordered that spinner knob. You guys seen that already. And I figured I'd take a chance, and I ordered a couple of books off of eBay that are, that are meant for these tractors. You rarely ever find originals anymore, like I said before, but you can buy new ones, that have been reprinted over again. I think the original ones, like the very first ones that were made, are kept in a safe somewhere or something, and then when people need to order them or make up more, then that company or whatever will make more of them up. I don't know. So I'm not sure how it does it, but these are original books, but they're new. They're the original design and everything, but they're new. They've been reprinted. So, but I ordered 2 books for this tractor. One is the part catalog, and this book is like, I swear, like 300 pages big. It's freaking insane. That book gives me every part number, every nut and bolt, part number for every little thing for my tractor. Now, since it's 2016, just to be about 2017, part numbers are now different from the originals. So when you give them a part, you got to be like, you got to make sure it's the right one, right? So, but yeah. So, and then the other one was just the operator's manual for the tractor. Even though I know how to drive them, but there's some hidden things in there that you kind of need to know. So, yeah, I got those books a couple days ago. My brain hurts because I've been studying that, and it pisses me off because even though I think it's in the part book, they have the part number for the tilt steering kit for those tractors. It's just that apparently you can't find them anymore. So, but I guess that's they print them off that way to make them look original. But shit. I mean, if they don't make those parts anymore, that shouldn't even be in the books anymore. Then because it's whatever. So if I need a new part for my tractor or something, I can pretty much just look in that book and be like, well, this is the original part number. You just have to go off of that and then see what you can find. So, and then the operator's manual just kind of tells you how it works, how you can drive it and whatever. Shit like that. But it is really nice though, because on my tractor the left brake don't work, and it has the parts in there. There's a breakdown part of that. Well, it gives you a breakdown of that braking system, and it shows what parts are there, or what it shows the parts that are used to make that working. So So, you know, it probably wouldn't be too much of a big deal to try to figure it out. You know, that would have to get done at a dealer because I don't have a big workshop like that to tear that thing apart, and I don't think I want to tear it that far apart. So, to get that brake to work again, I probably have to take it to either get the guys that my tractor's got that has my tractor now, or I'd have to actually go to a Case IH dealer and they would have to figure it out. But or someone around here that knows a lot about these tractors. So, but yeah, so I've been kind of just studying the books on and off, and I probably should have looked up too the fuel tanks to see how big they were. So I didn't look that up, but I'll have to do that. Maybe I'll put that in the description too, because I don't know exactly. Someone told me it was 75 gallons, but I can look it up in the book. So that will tell me what I'm dealing with. So what is this crawling on the floor? Is it some kind of a beetle or something? So yeah. So like I said, I've been studying the books, and just, like I said, I'm a little bit frustrated at the tractor deal and whatnot, and I've been doing a lot of thinking about the CB setup. I'm still thinking about that. I know Buzzsaw, you know, was helping me out, you know, and like I said, I do appreciate it. There's never nothing wrong with someone leaving their opinion, you know, so, I mean, if you want to, you can. It's not going to matter to me, but, well, I got that 2 amp fuse power supply thing. Yeah, 2 amp power supply thing, and I hooked it up. And it's giving the CB a little bit, it's giving it more power. But what I don't understand is that he told me that these radios are taking over 3 amps or whatever to, you know, when you're transmitting. Well, it has to pull that power out of somewhere. So I would think that it would pull it out of the power wire, you know. So, while the power wire is only a 2 amp. Not saying that my 2 amp fuse or my 2 amp power supply is actually puking out 2 amps. It may be, you know, making a little bit less. You know, I don't know. I mean, they rated for that, so that's what it really should be pushing out. But I think from what he says, they kind of overrate them, and they're not really what they're supposed to be, apparently. So, so I am going to, right now I'm just using this as, you know, I'm not even talking on the radio. And he was saying, well, the more you talk on it, the more you're going to, you know, you could just blow the power thing out. Well, I'm not even talking on it. There's no point because I'm not getting anything anyway. So, but I noticed, though, that when I had it hooked up to my smaller power supply thingy, I had it tuned. You know, it was reading perfect. It was all below, you know, a 1 and stuff. And it was all perfectly tuned. I go hook up this 2 amp son of a bitch, you know, this big monster that I have. It put my readings off the chart. So I went and retuned them, and I got both perfect. I actually used the radio's SWR meter setup too. Then I compared that to my, you know, other SWR meter, and they're both reading pretty much the same. So, I guess the ones on the radio are a little bit accurate, but they say not to, just in case they're out of whack. Get out of there, you stupid animal. Fucking cats. Get out. Come on, you're just gonna get into shit, and I'm never gonna be able to find you again. Cat, come on. Quit digging into shit. This is why I hate having cats, especially when I'm doing shit, because they like to get into crap, and then they knock my crap down. I forgot that I had this old thing laying around. Oh, that's old. Forgot I even had this old thing, damn thing. That is the old, what is this? I don't remember what it was now, but, I think this was the RAM out of my old computer, my old laptop. It blew up. So they replaced it, and he says that I could keep that. He says that a lot of kids like to take these, and then they'll shoot them with like a BB gun or something, or even a rifle. I just kept it, in case I wanted to do that someday to it, but as of right now, I don't have a rifle, so. But yeah, so since I got a bigger power supply hooked up to the radio now, like I said, the readings are different now. Fucking bugs, get out of my face. And so, but it's still not giving me. I'm not getting any traffic on the radio. And now since I did this, the weather bands ain't working. Channel 4 kinda comes in a little bit, but I think it should be doing a hell of a lot better than that. Even bigger, it does better than that, sitting on top of the dike. And of course now there are trees in the way too, but that antenna is way up there, so what I plan on doing on payday. Now another thing I'm gonna say too, with this 2 amp thing, this power supply, this one likes to run warm too. I don't know if they always run kind of warm, and sometimes maybe kind of on when they get hot like that. I'm a little bit more worried. But they only seem to get hot when I'm trying to, either tune the radio or trying to transmit with it or whatever, because sometimes I'll just try to transmit for fun. Because I'm trying different settings out and stuff, and after a while it seems to kind of start running hot. So then I just shut it all down. I let the thing cool back down. Well, it takes quite a long time for that son of a bitch to cool off. So I don't know if this 2 amp one is giving it enough power or what. You think it would be, because the wire has a 2 amp fuse in it. That's power that goes into the back of the radio, and then you hooked it up to a power source. That's got a 2 amp fuse in it. So I think even if I do hook a 7 or 10 amp machine up to it, it's always just going to be pulling its 2 amps. But it may actually be getting a full 2 amps in. I don't know what it's getting now. I don't have a tester to test these wiring to know what exactly. There's no way of really telling. But there is another thing I can tell you too, is that on my kind of radio, these radios do have things in them where you can test your power supply, your antenna, and I think there's one other thing that you can test on those radios too, and it all passes. The antenna passes, the power supply passes, but I think for a split second there, when you first, because you have to push the talk or the mic to, you got to transmit in order to do those tests. And I think for the first split second on the power side, it says fail, but then it immediately goes over to it says to pass. So that's questioning there that maybe it's not getting quite enough power, but it's still getting the power that it needs. Because I think once it starts to transmit, then you're okay. But it's just when you first start off, that's when it's going to take all the power that it can possibly pull. So that's why I kind of wonder if maybe I'm not getting the full 2 amps to the thing. Maybe I'm getting like 1.5 amps, maybe, I don't know, 1 amp. Maybe it's not quite enough. So, but I'm going to try the power supply, and then I'm either going to I'm thinking I might go with a 10 amp power supply, because later on I may want to hook an external speaker up to it, and that takes another 4 watts. So I should have plenty of power on a 10 amp power supply to run both of that. Okay, 7 amp you probably could do it, but it may be cutting it pretty close for power. So I'm going to probably try to find a 10 amp power supply, be done with it, and then I'm going to I'm going to get a 10 amp, and then I'm going to try it out again, and then after that see what I get. And then after that, I'm going to try those ground planes on those antennas. Because there's no reason why my setup can't work. It's just that my setup is missing something, and I have to figure it out. Because there's no reason why my setup can't work when everyone else does it, you know. And I understand that, you know. Another thing is too, on those antennas that he was talking about, those 18-foot PVC antennas. Okay, mine is going to be way up there because I'm not going to make a whole new mounting system to mount it on the side of my house. It's going to have to go on my tripod. I'll probably put it as low as I possibly can, but it's still going to be way up there. Those antennas are only rated for 90 miles an hour wind gusts. If you get over that, they snap. That's it. You're finished. Those are $100 fucking antennas, and I'm not going to keep buying a new antenna every damn year because the weather decides to get freaky and destroys my antennas. Compared to this 102-inch, which is quite flexible, is only about 40, 50 bucks. And you can order them anywhere. You might even be able to find them a little bit cheaper, like on eBay or Craigslist used, you know. I bought mine brand new, so, you know, there shouldn't be nothing wrong with it. So, but I want to try the power supply thing again. I want to get a bigger one and see if that changes anything. But I think what I'm going to use for grounding planes, I'm just going to get some threaded rod with the hardware. I don't know if it matters if they're threaded or not. I don't see why it matters, but if they can't be threaded, well, just grind most of it. You know, grind most of the threads off, and you can make it smooth too. That would probably work too. But then I'll just drill holes. Try to maybe get not super small, but small enough or big enough to where if a bird was to sit on it, they ain't gonna bend it, right? Or if something were to crash into it, it's not gonna bend it too much. And then maybe I'll get like 4 or 5 foot long lengths or whatever. I'll get maybe 3 of them, and on the mount for the tripod, the pipe that sticks up at the very top, I'll drill some holes, and then I'll put a couple of nuts on them, and then see if that helps for like grounding wise, because maybe the wire's not enough for it. The wire is probably not even doing any good. I really should just disconnect it and try it, but I think we did try it without it, and there was no difference between the two. So, because I'm not going to buy a new antenna every year or every couple of years, whatever, just because 90 miles an hour wind gusts decide to hit up and bend my antenna or break it. Did you know that if I was to do that and put it to where I wanted it, I'd be replacing them probably every year? What money am I saving there on this project? I'm putting more money into it than it's worth to have. So that's why I went with the 102-inch whip, because I know it's reliable and it can be done. So, but I'm also frustrated at that too, because this is something I have to figure out. So, and I do get some help, you know. I don't get a lot of help because I don't. Maybe the people that watch my videos are not into CBs and they don't know nothing about them, which is fine. I don't give a shit if you know or not. But if you do know, give me some ideas. I know Buzzsaw's given me plenty of ideas. It's just that an 18-foot antenna on top of my roof that's mounted to a 3-foot tripod, even if I can get the thing as low as possible, it's still going to be way up there. The lightning's not going to want to hit it because it's plastic. As far as I know, they won't hit it, but maybe they'll just hit it anyway. Because no matter what you have, apparently lightning just likes to hit anything. They don't care if it's steel or not; they'll still hit it. But it's the point that I'm not going to be worried about some major storm that rolls by and decides to break my antenna. You know, the only good thing about those 18-foot antennas is that they are tunable. Apparently, I think you can loosen a wing nut or whatever, and then you can actually slide the thing up and down, and that'll tune it. And then you just go back to your radio and see how it did. So, I mean, that antenna he's talking about does have its, it's got some good things about it, but it's also got some terrible things about it too. And the one is fact is that the wind gusts. I mean, I suppose I could, put some guide wires on it, I suppose, and give it some extra strength or whatever, but that's only going to do it so much good, you know. And that's just going to look stupid, and that might even mess up, you know, how the antenna, you know, works. It may be perfectly tuned, but then once you put those wires on there, it may change that, you know. It may do something to it. So that kind of antenna is not going to do me any good because it's not really reliable, you could say. Because a lot of people have said about those antennas is that when wind gusts get over 90 miles an hour, they break. Well, why do they break? Because they're made out of PVC. They're plastic. If they would make them out of steel, I wouldn't even worry about it because it's made out of steel. You can't really bend steel unless a damn tornado comes by. But, you know, 90 miles an hour wind gusts are not going to break it. Or if it's made out of aluminum. Mind you, that has to be decent steel and decent aluminum, but most times it is. It's not cheap, you know. So that's why I went with the 102-inch whip because, you know, it's more reliable, and you don't have to worry about it. But I want to try a bigger power supply. See what that changes, if it changes anything on it at all. Because when I went from that little 500 mA power thingy up to this 2 amp, my tunage was way off. Compared to when it was on the smaller power thingy, I had it tuned perfect. And it was giving me really good, it was actually giving me some really good readings. You know, they were all below a 1.3 or whatever, pretty much. So that's what you want for tunage. But it was giving me that because it was such low power. Since I'm giving it a little bit more power now, it's changed. So meaning if I give it even more power, which the maximum is only 2 amps because that's all that fuse will allow it to pull through. So to be honest with you, how he thinks it pulls 3.5 or whatever the hell it was that he said, I don't know, because the wire is only 2. The power wire that powers the radio, that's only got a 2 amp fuse on it. So I don't know. So unless it came with the wrong wiring, but I'm sure it's the correct wiring. You know, this one came with the radio. It's the hard wiring kit. So yeah, I don't know. So, but I don't really want to have to change out antennas because one, it's a waste of fucking money because I bought this 102-inch whip, you know, and I don't think anyone around here is going to want it. You know, even though it's basically brand new, it hasn't been used. You know, it's the point that it's, you know, it's used. It's been used now a little bit, so. I don't know if anyone really likes used antennas. You know, I mean, you could tell, you could say it's the best. You know, it's brand new, packed release, never been used. You know, there's no damage done to it. People don't really like the fact that it's used. You know, mind you, it's not really used because I haven't talked on it. I'm not receiving anything right now, but I was earlier. So, yeah. So I'm going to try a bigger power supply. I want to go up to a 10 amp. He said that a 7 amp would probably be okay. I'm going to jump it up to a 10 amp just because, you know, that if I do decide to get an external speaker for it later on, even though that just gets plugged directly into the radio, I don't think it has its own separate power source. It may pull a little bit more power. How it's going to, I don't know, because the wire is only 2 amp. So unless it's supposed to have a bigger wire, I don't know. Unless you can buy bigger wires for them, but the original ones just came with 2 amps. So as far as I know, that's what mine came with. Is a 2 amp. Maybe they make a 3 amp and a 4 amp wire. I don't know, but I've never looked it up. So it would be nice if they did make them a little bit bigger, because then you could give it more power, and then, you know, then it would be good. So, but what are you gonna do, right? Was the right pickup? So, And now it's getting to be that time of the year now where it's going to be a lot colder out, and I'm probably not going to want to be doing a hell of a lot. So really, to be honest with you, I don't think I'm going to really destroy the CB because I'm probably not going to be using it much. Because I'm putting it up so late in the year now. By the time I actually get this radio tuned to my liking and actually get it to perform, we're going to be done for the year. The only thing that's left to do now is to pick up hay bales and plow that field under. Well, with the young guy probably most likely doing it, he'll be here for like 2 or 3 days and he's done. Compared to if it was the old timer, he'd be here for a couple of weeks. You know, because he's slower, and he's got a smaller pickup. He's got a smaller, you know, truck to carry bales on. He can only carry 9 compared to this younger guy's semi, which can carry like 10 or even probably even more, depending on how high you want to stack them. But, you know, and plus he's got his kids, and they have pickups, and they got trailers to haul hay on, so, you know, the younger guy can move his bales a lot quicker than the old timer could do. So, but no matter what, we're going to be done anyway. By the time I get this radio perfect for me, we're going to be done. There's probably already going to be snow on the ground. So, you know, but I'm going to try the bigger power supply, and then if I notice something different about it, then I'm going to start trying to add ground planes to it and see if that changes it. Because I know that has to work. And if that changes it, I may have to just leave it for the winter and then come back in spring and then maybe put an 8-foot copper pipe in the ground or whatever, and maybe get a heavier gauge copper wire and then ground that to that, or change the grounding setup that I have now. Maybe instead of trying them, because right now I'm grounding the tripod and the antenna mount. Apparently that's all supposed to be grounded at the same time. So that's another thing I'm wondering too, is that maybe the mount, because the mount that I'm using that's holding my antenna is like a claw, which means it's probably not really getting a good grounding. Sure, it's not really getting a good ground to it. So I'm thinking maybe I should just change it and maybe just wrap it around the actual claw, or somehow manage to get it hooked to that, and then see if that changes my grounding. Because it's got to be mostly that grounding setup. I think that's got to be changed. I think the power supply will make a huge difference, and then the antenna. So I gave you the links to that guy's video, and you know, if he can do it, I'm sure I can do it. It's kind of like it's a DIY antenna basically, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just pulling parts out of the junkyard, you could say, and I'm just making an antenna, right? So even though I bought all my shit off of mostly eBay and Right Channel radios, but there's something missing though. There's something missing, and I got a feeling it's mostly the power supply and the grounding system, which are the ground planes, which is, I don't have that yet. That's what I'm thinking that I'm missing mostly. How big of a piece I'll need, I won't know until I try at least. I'm going to probably at least get a couple of 5-foot pieces. Probably 3 anyway, depending on price, and then I'll get my DeWalt out and I'll drill little holes through the pipe for in the tripod. And put them on there. See if it gives me more of a grounding system, grounding surface. There's another pickup. I don't know what the hell that is, but whatever. Yeah, and apparently today there was someone in a white van. I didn't see it though, but there was a white van apparently driving around of a guy showing his private parts. So everyone, all the cops and the border patrol and everything were out looking for him. But they said that at the time they probably even got here, that guy would already be gone. So I haven't seen a white van yet. So that was way earlier today. I heard that too. So I haven't seen nothing. I even had my security camera going and I didn't see nothing. So well, he most likely never came this way, which is fine because we get enough queers driving through this fucking town anyway. Don't need any more added to this damn list. So yeah, that's what's been going on. Been reading the books, trying to figure out the CB stuff, and just been a little bit frustrated at the tractor. You know, because the tractor's not here yet. You know, well, I'm not frustrated at the tractor. I'm frustrated at the company because they could be stepping it up a little bit quicker now. And apparently, me telling them that I needed the chisel plow didn't speed them up any. So I thought maybe, you know, if I told them that I got to use the chisel plow, maybe they would hurry it up one notch. You know, but apparently it's still at that same notch when I first dropped it off there. So whatever. Maybe next week it'll fucking be done. Can get it here and show it to you guys. And be done with that, because once I make a video on it, you guys probably ain't going to be seeing it anymore until probably spring. Because, yeah. So, that's basically it. That's really all I got to talk about. Yeah. That's all that's going on right now. It's just that damn CB shit and the tractor. Oh, and I also figured out too, if you guys even give a shit about this, I don't fucking even know if you guys care or not, but I'm going to tell you anyway because I feel like it. I haven't really been keeping track of my hospital bills that I've been paying for the last like 10,000 years. I haven't really been keeping track of it. I've just been throwing them what they wanted at them, and you know, just left it at that. Well, come to find out, I've actually paid quite a bit of that off already. I'm actually down a lot more than I thought. So I think I probably got maybe another year to go on that, or something like that. Anyway, I think I should be about done. Should be almost done by next year, I think, with those bills. But I think what's kind of ruining it for me is my credit card. I got a credit card, you know, from Capital One because I thought it would help my credit. Well, come to find out, they're kind of ripping me off in a way because they told me that if I paid, you know, a little bit here and there every month, you know, the smallest amount is $25. Well, that's what I've been paying because they didn't tell me this part. That they're tacking on another whatever, however much for. It's something that they tack on every month, and that's another $25. So basically, when I'm paying my $25, it's basically just paying their fees or whatever. So basically, because I've been checking that bill, and that bill's never going down. Well, come to find out, they're charging me an extra $25 for fees just for having them. So I'm a little bit frustrated at that. That is making me questioning if I should just drop them and be done with it, because, you know, I'm really thinking about it. I'm not getting anywhere. My mom says that I could just finance something, you know, like a TV or even a computer, which I did finance my mom's computer. She says that you can basically do that on your frickin' own, but she said there's not really a heck of a lot you can finance. So that's kind of the reason why I got a credit card, was to kind of help that out a little bit. It's making me question if I should just get rid of it and just pay them off what I owe them and be done with it, because my bill is actually going up because apparently I'm not paying enough. So I got a big decision on what to do there, because that's just bullshit. Charging me an extra $25 for fees just because you fucking feel like you can. So I either have to kick it up a notch and pay a little bit more to help overcome this, or I don't know. But I can't really do anything either, because, you know, it's just because if you pay them off and you spend that money again, they pay something else, you're back to paying them again. Which, you know, kind of does help your credit too, but, you know, it's just kind of frustrating what to do. I know that I ain't paying them enough. I should be paying them more than that, but, you know, it wasn't within budget because of all these hospital bills, you know. So I actually got one bill already paid off because I separated all my fucking bills. Before, it was all one big massive bill, and now it's all these little freaking tiny little bills, which pissed me off. So Apparently I got one of them paid off. And I got a couple other ones that are just about done due. I should be done with them in probably another 2 or 3 months. Even sooner, I guess, if I paid them a little bit more. But so the good news is that my hospital bills, you know, all of these debt bills, you could call them, are actually a lot lower than what I was thinking. I was thinking I was still way up there. But, you know, that was, 2 or 3 years ago that happened, and apparently I put in a major dent in now, and it's actually down quite a bit. But like I said, I haven't been keeping track of it because I knew that it was going to be quite a few years, before I ever get them paid off. So I'm not quite as frustrated at the bills, but I'm still frustrated because they're still there. I want them to be completely freaking gone, but that's not going to happen for a while yet. But the good news is that it has gone down quite a bit. So I think what I'm going to do at some point here, I'm going to probably try to see if I can check my credit score and see how that's doing. I checked it on Capital One. Well, Capital One's way the fuck off. I even live chatted to someone, and they said that they don't really exactly do that. That's just kind of a rough idea. You got to get a hold of a major company, which I think Credit Karma or whatever the hell they're called, they do that, and I think I've gone to them a couple of times. So I think you could go to your bank too, and you can ask them that, but fuck the banks. So I may look into that at some point, and then see if it's possible to maybe take out a bank loan of some kind or something. I don't know, just to help pay some stuff off and make another investment in something. I don't know. I gotta see how things go. So that would be nice to get them off. It would be nice to take out a bank loan and just pay off the bills, and then invest in something else. I need like a snowblower or something anyway, and there you go. All right. So I don't exactly want to have to plow a big rat anymore, because that's getting sickening. Breaking fucking winch cables all the time. Even though I don't think I might have broke it maybe once last year. I don't remember. So, but I know I didn't plow a hell of a lot. So, what are you gonna do, right? So, anyway, guys, I'm gonna probably take off because I'm sure this camera's probably about to die because it's colder out now, and this camera dies a lot sooner in the cold now. So, meaning once winter comes, I'll be switching over to most likely the GoPro, because that handles the cold a lot better because it's newer. It's not a piece of crap like this. Well, it's a piece of crap too, because that one's got problems as well, but it's a lot better than this camera. So I may be retiring this camera pretty quick, and then I'd love to get a brand new one, but hell, you're going to kill that in the wintertime too. So I'd recommend that in the wintertime, if you're going to make videos, get a cheap ass camera. Because if you buy a $400 or $500 camera and you keep blowing up batteries because of the winter cold, well, that's kind of expensive. Batteries are not cheap, so even for this camera, they were like freaking $40 pop, around there. Kind of a rip-off. But whatever. So anyways, guys, I guess I'll probably take off. So I guess have a good day and stuff. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care easy.